Welcome to another segment of Gourmia Cooking. I'm your host Melinda. Today we will be making a pot roast in the 8-in-1 multi-purpose cooker using the slow cooker function. So to start off, I'm going to season my meat. I have here 2.5 pounds of chuck roast boneless meat. I'm going to season my meat with about 2 pinches of salt. These are hefty pinches. I want to make sure that all of my meat is covered evenly with my seasoning. And there's nothing more important than salt besides butter. We have 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Again, evenly spreading. If you need a little bit more love for your meat, it's fine. So you want to spread it around evenly. And I'm going to use another teaspoon, or just about the same amount that I used on this side, on the flip side of the meat. I'm also going to put about a teaspoon of garlic powder on my meat. Again, making sure to evenly spread it to all the corners. And if I put a little bit more than a teaspoon here, I will be sure to do the same on the other side. So now we're going, I almost forgot. A little crack of pepper. Never hurt anybody. And now we're ready to flip. Now, when I make my pot roast in the slow cooker, I typically like to sear my meat first. It really seals in that flavor and those juices. So, since I'm using an 8-in-1 multi-purpose cooker, I can easily do that. So I'm going to click function here till grill is illuminated. That'll be about 6 clicks and the light will be flashing right next to grill. The light is flashing, letting me know that I can still change time and temperature. So I'm going to change the time by clicking time and temperature button, and I'm going to lower it to 5 minutes. The temperature, 464 degrees, is just right for this recipe, so I'm going to click start. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of herbed garlic butter into my pan. Alright, now that my butter is sizzling and popping, it's time to get that chuck roast in. I'm going to take my meat, place it along the middle. Doesn't that sound delicious? I'm going to leave my meat there for 2 minutes. Not touching it. I want to respect the meat, make sure it gets nice and sealed. So don't worry, it will not stick. This is also a non-stick pot. Let's see what we got here. Isn't that beautiful? Alright, now we're just gonna, again, respecting the meat, give it the last couple minutes that it needs. Contrary to popular belief, the cooking is the part that goes slow, the prep is the fast one. So I'm going to add here 1 whole white onion that I diced previously. Spreading that around. The pot is still hot, so be mindful of where your arms are. I'm also going to add about 4 whole garlic cloves. Going to spread those around. Now I'm going to get my 8 ounces of Baby Bella whole mushrooms that I rinsed. Also spreading those around. Now that we're done with those, we're going to get some seasoning going. So I want to get 2 sprigs of rosemary. I'm going to cut them in half, right down the middle, because I want to be able to find them later. I'm going to stick one here and there, just around everywhere. I'm going to get about 3 to 4 sprigs of thyme. Again, cutting them in the middle because the last place I want to find them is in my mouth. Now our yummy potatoes. These are a medley of fingerling potatoes. Some are smaller than others, so the larger ones were cut in half and others were left whole. So I'm going to spread those around. Now, what is a good pot roast without a yummy sauce? So here I have prepared a cup of beef stock. I'm also going to pour 1/3 cup of cooking wine. And I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Put that right in. And I'm going to mix. Making sure everybody gets mixed evenly. And I'm ready to pour over my whole pot roast. So I'm going to close my lid. I'm going to click function again. And I'm going to click 1, 2, 3 times to get back to slow cook from grill. The light is now flashing by slow cook, and it is letting me know that it is starting me off at 212 degrees with 6 hours. Now, in most slow cooking recipes, there is a high and a low. High tends to be around 300 to 302 degrees, and low goes to about 212, 200 degrees. So if you're gonna spend more time in a meeting or picking up the kiddies from practice, no worries. You can change this recipe, put it on low. So you'll do 212 degrees for about 8 hours. And we're beeping. Let's see what this looks like. Wow, that absolutely smells delicious. So now that my pot roast is done, I'm going to grab my potatoes, let it rest. It's very important, not only respecting the meat when you sear it, but also respecting it after, because all those juices, if you cut right away, will be lost on your cutting board. That's the last thing you want to do. For such a beautiful piece of meat, you need to let it rest, let those juices stay in. Now that we have our meat resting, our potatoes on the side, I still have all my lovely juices. So what I'm going to do here is I'm first of all going to fish around and make sure I have no more rosemary sprigs, which I see that I have one left. Make sure I have no more sprigs. Okay. So now I'm going to grab first it looks to me that I have about like half a cup of liquid, so I'm going to go with about half a teaspoon of flour, sprinkle it around, and this is really, a little bit more, this is really to thicken up that sauce so it's almost like a gravy. So I'm going to continue to stir. Alright, now that my gravy is ready and my meat has rested, I'm ready to plate. So I'm going to grab some potatoes. Alright, now it's time to cut my meat. So cutting, I'm going to cut at an angle to start. Just cuts like butter. Alright, now that we've cut, it's time to move it on over. And most importantly of all, the gravy. What a delicious meal that was. So, let's talk about how easy I get to clean this 8-in-1 multi-purpose cooker. Going to clean all the inside. Really get the sides. Now with the dry paper towel. And that's it, you're done. Thank you again for joining us on another segment of Gourmia Cooking. I'm your host, Melinda. Bon appetit. Welcome to another segment of Gourmia Cooking. I'm your host, Melinda. Today we will be making a pot roast in the 8-in-1 multi-purpose cooker using the slow cooker function. So to start off, I'm going to season my meat. I have here 2.5 pounds of chuck roast boneless meat. I'm going to season my meat with about 2 pinches of salt. These are hefty pinches. I want to make sure that all of my meat is covered evenly with my seasoning, and there's nothing more important than salt besides butter. We have 1 teaspoon of onion powder, again, evenly spreading. If you need a little bit more love for your meat, it's fine. So you want to spread it around evenly.